Hey everyone, welcome back. Been a little while again. I just get busy with stuff and I just don't get around to picking up a camera and filming things. But we got a lot going on around here. Just gonna walk around and kind of just show you a few things. Nothing special here. Just gonna give you a quick update because it's been a little while. The hill is starting to fill in with the seeds that we planted up there. Different deer mixes and things like that. We've got some potatoes and sunchokes, or they're also called Jerusalem artichokes. We got those growing right back here in these pots. I'm gonna bring you in a little closer and let you see what we got going on here. I gotta turn this thing off here, this orange thing. It's a predator deterrent. When we first planted these out here, we had a few of the neighborhood dogs come in and dig up the potatoes and sunchokes. So we put this up so anytime you walk in front of it, it buzzes and then it puts off a real high-pitched whistle. So I'm gonna turn this off real quick. Or turn this thing off real quick anyway. We'll get you in here to take a better look. All right, here's a little closer look at what we got growing here. These are sunchokes, also called Jerusalem artichokes. These are in 15-gallon fabric grow bags. So they allow really good drainage. They're almost like growing in a pot, but they allow really good drainage. But this is the best way because we have a hard clay soil here. Anything that's a potato or sunchoke or anything like that, we try to keep them in looser soil. So that's why we're growing them in pots. And we're probably gonna do this for a few years until we get our soil built up. But so this is the Jerusalem artichoke or sunchoke. This is another one here. And then these are a midnight purple potato. We've got 6 pots of these growing, and they're doing pretty well. And then we've also got, that's the last purple one. These are a red potato that we actually had left over from some that we had bought from the store. And I went ahead and cut them and let them scab over. And then they actually started to grow, they started to grow a little bit of mold on them right before we planted them. And I wasn't sure if they were gonna come up, but it appears they are. So we'll see how those fare out. But that's our potato and artichoke patch here. Walk down and show you these beds here. All right, so this potato and the artichokes back there behind me, and this bed that kind of showed y'all what we did, or that we built this. We planted some stuff in here, all kinds of cooler weather crops. There's carrots, peas, radishes, beets, cabbage, all kinds of stuff, bunch of herbs, chamomile, just all kinds of things. But I'm gonna flip this camera around and kind of show you what we got going on here. So here's the beds. Got the radishes. We only grew everything at kind of like a 2-foot spot, we're still trying to figure this out. So it's all still a little new to us, but man, I hope that's not a mole. Anyway, we had to put a rabbit fence around it. This is a 2-foot chicken wire fence. It also lays out a little bit so they don't dig underneath it. The peas that we're growing in here, we're getting demolished by the rabbits. We have a really high rabbit population around here. I think we were standing on the porch yesterday and we could see 3 of them across our across our property down here. But yeah, I mean, some of the stuff's coming up, some not so much. Here's I don't know if you can see that, but there's cabbage sprouts in there. Here's some of our carrots. We got 2 different varieties of carrots growing in here. And then we got this white Russian kale. This is doing really well. We've already been pulling a few small leaves off of there because you can eat them like a microgreen. And you can see the radishes. These are 18-day breakfast radishes. They got kind of a slow start because it's been cold. So, but they're starting to kick pretty good. And then here's some of the beets. Again, they're just kind of getting going because our last frost date is actually tomorrow. All of this stuff can take a minor frost, and we really haven't had any kind of a minor frost since we planted them. But yeah, we're growing. We're growing some things. So I'm gonna walk over here and show you this other bed that we just finished digging up. All right, I'll walk over here to the other side. It's actually not that far. It's only, I don't know, 50 feet or so, but that bed there we did the sod flip on. I told y'all I would do a video on it. It is a lot of work, and I don't really want to make a video of doing that and y'all seeing me struggle. Y'all seeing me struggle through it because it takes a lot of, it's a lot of work. So here behind me though, we did another one, but we did it different because on the other bed over there, we cut this one, flipped it over to this, and then we actually cut this and flipped it over to here. So this one, we cut the outsides and flipped them in to make one 48-inch wide bed instead of 22, 24 inches on that other one. So we haven't planted anything in here yet. We got a pile of amendments that we need to put down. This is just some mushroom compost and peat moss. Like I said, you can tell this is a really hard, it got a little bit of rain last night too, so it's wet, but it's a really hard clay. When this stuff dries out, it is almost like concrete. So we're gonna try and put some of this stuff in there and see if we can get some better fluff, drainage. Just, you know, like I've all told y'all, we're just kind of trying to learn how to do this stuff. So anyway, we're gonna go down here and see the chickens. They're starting to settle in real nicely. We've been feeding them some different, oh, actually, no, we're not gonna do that yet. We're gonna walk back here real fast, show you the progress on the corn plot preparation. We're gonna have something special going on back here that hopefully will turn out pretty cool. And again, I'm not gonna talk about it yet, but once we plant it, we'll get on here and take a look. But here's the plot. We got some of the chicken manure from the chicken house on here, and there's a few weeds already popping up. We haven't planted this yet. We're just trying to get the soil into a state that we can plant some stuff in it. So we're just kind of working through and getting things figured out around here. So I'm gonna cut this off real quick. We're gonna walk down here and I'll turn it back on when we get in here with the chickens. All right, so I'm gonna start filming this while I walk up here because these chickens, they get so excited now when we come out and visit with them. They're already flying up on top of the coop. What you doing up there, Roberta? Yeah, these are girls. Through some, oh, they're getting excited now. Got some cantaloupe out here. They already ate a spaghetti squash, and then we picked up a half a watermelon at the grocery store yesterday, and Maggie and I ate the watermelon and put the rind out here for them to snack on. They've been getting after it. So here's the girls. Like I said, they're a lot more friendly now, starting to get used to us. That's Rose, the golden one there. This is Roberta, or Bob. The other black one back there is Latrice. This is Sophia. We've got, you can see on their feet, we put colored zip ties on them, just so we can identify who's who. And this, so yeah, I believe, well, it looks like there might be one in the house laying an egg, because 3 of these 4 Goldens, we know for a fact that there's 3 of them that are laying. All 4 of them might be laying now, but we're not 100% certain, because we've been getting 3 eggs every morning. It's a little early to check for them, but maybe we'll pop in there and see. Oh, and that's a leftover cabbage head that they've picked up pretty good. Oh, I already see 1 egg in there. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, right there. Yeah, so there's already 1 egg in there in the house, and one of the girls is in there sitting. Man, there's a lot of gnats out here. They're all over the yard. They just seem to be a pretty persistent bug. If we wear a wide brim hat, they don't get all up in your face, but and they're thick out here. But I don't think it's because of the chickens. I think it's just they were here. The gnats were around last fall when we moved in here, so it's just kind of part of living in this little microclimate that we have here. So anyway, I'm gonna close up their gate here, and I don't know, see what else we can go talk about. So be with you back in a sec. All right, got their little gate. Oh, I gotta turn the fence back on. I keep forgetting to do this. We watched a couple dogs. We were sitting in the window. We sit in there and watch these chickens all the time because they have a pretty funny personality. But we did watch a dog come across the yard and go over there and start looking at them. And I think the dog hit that electric fence and it shocked him. So the fence works. It's what it's supposed to do. I hate to see dogs get shocked, but I also don't want them in here getting after the chickens. So the fence works. That's a good thing. But anyway, we still got the old shed frame back here. We talked about that was going to be our orchard. I think we've changed our plans. We're actually going to build a more stationary chicken coop for these girls and start using them to make compost. So Maggie and I are going to build them a larger, more permanent house for them to be in, and we're going to enclose that. Man, these gnats are horrible. We're gonna enclose this in chicken wire, make it their run, but then we're also gonna be able to add that fence around the outside to let them still go out and range on some grass if they want. But that's where we're gonna start throwing our food scraps, is inside that little run that we're gonna build for them. So we'll do videos on all that stuff when we're doing it. I've never built a chicken coop. I've never built a structure, to be honest with you. I've done a lot of kit things and put up sheds that were just assemblies. You know, you just have directions and you just assemble everything. But yeah, I've never really built a structure from scratch. So this ought to be an interesting little project. I'm excited for it. We're gonna build the house big enough to get a few more chickens at some point. Probably not anytime soon. We might look in the fall. Everybody gets these little baby chicks in the spring, and And then they turn out to not like taking care of them by the time the fall comes around. So they go online and they start giving them away. So we're gonna look at that. The only problem with that is you may get a problem hen from somebody that is just a bully. You may get one that doesn't lay any eggs. We'll be really selective, and if we got to, we'll buy them from another like certified breeder type of thing. So we'll just go from there, figure that out. But right up here, I'll show you where the coop's gonna go. It's where the old burn pile was. It's kind of still on a little bit of a hill, but it's a pretty flat area. And the reasoning behind it is so we can set this fence up, set that electric fence up to let them still kind of come out in free range. So it's hard to tell on the camera, but it's kind of flat right here and it goes down to the yard. We're gonna go in and rake all of this, get all this stuff cleaned out. And then we're gonna set, the coop is gonna be right about here and the run is gonna come back on this flat part. And then there'll be a door opening here, which I can run them down here to clean the garden in the fall. Once we're done growing everything for the year, we'll just get them down here. They'll just go in there and tear everything up, eat everything. They'll poop all over it and fertilize everything, and the circle of life will continue. So that's the plans for this. The burn pit, yeah, we'll just move it somewhere else. I don't even know where at the moment, but I mean, we've got a couple little burn piles back there too from when we were clearing all that stuff. So still just figuring everything out, kind of trying to figure out what works well for us and what works well for us and what works well for the environment as much as possible. We're trying to work with nature, not against here. So that's why we're putting in kind of permaculture type of systems here as far as fertilizer from the chickens. They're gonna make compost. So how it's gonna work is inside of their run, we're gonna put a bunch of wood chips and things in there, and then we'll just throw all of our food scraps, all the stuff that they can eat. There are some things that we eat that they can't. But all the things that they can eat, we're gonna throw in there and they'll just eat them up. It'll disappear. The spaghetti squash that I've thrown in there is almost completely gone. The cabbage is almost completely gone. These cantaloupes that we put in yesterday are probably gonna be gone in the next week. They just come out and start getting after it. So anyway, they'll eat that and then they'll start putting a nitrogen-rich fertilizer in the form of chicken poo on the wood chips. So the way compost works is you'll have a carbon and a nitrogen. When they mix, they break down and they create soil. So the carbon is going to be the wood chips, leaves, things like that. Grass clippings are going to be a nitrogen, but they will eat that also. But it'll all mix up in there anyway. And if you have the right ratio of carbon in the chicken coop, from what I understand, I've never done this before, but we watch a lot of videos on YouTube and things. But if you have a good amount of carbon down while they're putting down their fertilizer, it won't smell, or it won't smell bad. I mean, you'll smell it, but it won't be really, really strong. But anyway, I want to come down here and show you too that this is the mound where you can see the septic tank lids here. This is the mound, and this is all the stuff that we planted on top of it. It's starting to come up and sprout. So hopefully pretty soon it'll be completely covered. It looks different because there's we put down a chicken forage mix over here. So we'll actually maybe at some point even move the chickens over here once it gets thick enough. And nothing down here is gonna hurt them. There's no actual like septic here. It's just the tanks that are down here, and the drain field is up there that we pump up to. So yeah, but anyway, hope you liked the video. If you like what we're doing here, please follow along, consider subscribing, share our videos around. We'll try and get better at these updates. Like I said, sometimes I just want to get out here and get things done, and I don't have the time to set up the camera, and maybe I need to make more time. It's the only way I'm going to get the channel to to get better, right? To draw more people in to watch. So for it to grow, that's the word I was looking for, because I'm trying to grow a lot of things here, but the only way I can grow the channel is with your help. So anyway, thanks for watching. This is Chad, Tabula Rasa Farm. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.